orders constrict the Iranian regime's the financial tentacles all around the world. The largest bank in Iran collapsed. The central bank had to print money, caused inflation. Now they got 180% inflation. They aren't able to pay their troops. And on your orders, we are searching for their assets all around the world.
That's going to help. Jim Hanson, former U.S. Army Special Forces and president of World Strat, joins us now. So, Jim, your thoughts about the president saying we're about to hit them back for 3 or 4 days. But I thought in the Wall Street Journal, they talked about 2 more weeks because we left 20% of targets on the table after Epic Fury in an effort to get together with some type of peace deal. So what do you think the next phase looks like?
Well, I don't want to argue with the president about naming conventions, but I kind of like Operation Epic Finale. It's time to finish this regime off. And it can't all be done by bombing. We can't bomb them out of power. But what we can do is create the conditions by destroying enough infrastructure and things they need to operate, and then applying, as I said, that epic squeeze where you've got the epic fury or the economic fury, and you do a land blockade and a sea blockade, because right now they're sneaking oil out of the country and selling it. So we need to stop all of those, debank them, seize their accounts, put every form of pressure on them to create conditions for a regime collapse that comes from inside, from the people of Iran.
Would you bring in the IDF?
I don't think the IDF or any other troops need to go in. That would be counterproductive. This is the Iranian people's situation. We can help them, like I said, by creating conditions. And we should actually, at some point, if we can make a deal in the short term to open the strait, get the oil flowing, and keep things operating, then good. But if we can't, it's time to honestly say that the Islamic Republic of Iran is past its expiration date, and we believe that the Iranian people deserve a chance to choose a better government.
So what do you do? Start bombing the capital? Start taking out the government buildings? I mean, we're already aiming for the IRGC headquarters, barracks, and things to that nature. What would you do to really shake this thing up?
I think they've got a target list. You know, the president and Secretary Hegseth were not going to give up the amount of time or timing when they were going to do it. But they have a list of regime leaders, mostly IRGC, who are entirely problematic and not going to be helpful in any way. They could go. You know, and then you've got all the rest of the things to squeeze them economically. The regime will fall when its partners in crime who are selling and trading with it believe the IOUs they're getting now are not going to be good in the long term because they don't have any cash to pay for things. Everybody's betting they'll be able to sell their oil at some point. When they lose faith in that, they'll lose faith in the regime. It'll start to crumble, and then we can have something that doesn't create trouble for everybody in the region and the world.
So you got about those 10 Iranian-affiliated militia groups in Iraq. They're bombing into Saudi Arabia. We know they're looking, the Iranians are going into Jordan, and they're also hit targets in Egypt. And now there's a loose alliance building among Gulf states to reopen the Red Sea and maybe strike back Iran. If you are U.S. command, if you're in U.S. command right now, what do we do with these motivated Gulf state allies?
And see, you just hit the nail on the head. This is a regional strategy that President Trump started in his first administration and then reinvigorated with his first trip overseas. He went to see the Qataris, Emiratis, and Saudis. And he told them, Iran's a problem, I'm gonna need your help for that. And he said, Gaza's a problem, I'm gonna help you with that. And all of this comes together. Now, Iran screwed up royally by attacking the Gulf states and solidifying that alliance. Now there's a counterweight to Iran in the region. And he's also done work with Turkey, who could also provide another counterweight. Then you've got people who will create a different economic and regional security balance. And then once again, Iran will not be the major player, and they certainly won't be the hegemon. Then all of their proxies will fall off by the wayside, and the regime can collapse, and we can move on from there.
All right. I just got word from a significant source within the administration that these hits are going to be very serious. So I don't know if they're 14 days or 3 days and very intense. We'll have to see, but all eyes on Iran. Thanks so much, Jim Hanson. Appreciate your insight.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.